There is another legend that Kashi, which was perhaps the seat of learning in civilizational India for several millennia, even there the students, when they graduated from their learning, as part of their convocation in the ritual, they would walk a few steps in the direction of Kashmir after convocation. And this was symbolic that hereafter I go for higher learning to Kashmir. Even the students in Kashi used to go through this ritual. That posits Kashmir in yet another context as a seat of learning, which is why it was called Sharada Pradesh. In fact, there's a prayer, Namastute Ma Sharade Kashmir Pura Vasini. That Sharada, please bless me, who lives in Kashmir, the goddess of learning. And there was Sharada Peeth. And it was the same Sharada Peeth where Shankaracharya, Adi Shankara, went and came back as Shankaracharya. That the southern gates of Sharada Peeth were first time opened for him. He ascended the seat, the Peeth, and his intellect was acknowledged and approved by his peers there as outstanding, perhaps better than theirs. So that was Sharada Peeth, and that is the place called Kashmir. Lot of Sanskrit philosophers and students of Sanskrit, acharyas of Sanskrit would know, if the literature that originated from Kashmir, the Sanskrit literature that originated from Kashmir, were to be taken out of the entire body of Sanskrit literature, you will be bereft of some of the best works, and probably half of it will go away. And I'll give you an example. There are 4 Vedas, you know. And if you have to classify another work in Sanskrit as 5th Veda or Veda equivalent, there is a consensus that Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra would qualify to be the 5th Veda. And if you need to understand it, know it, learn about it well, there is a treatise on that Veda. It is called Abhinav Bharati, written by Abhinav Gupta. Without Abhinav Bharati, understanding or learning about Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra is considered virtually impossible or extremely difficult. So, they consider Abhinav Bharati more important a work than Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra itself. And that Abhinav Bharati is one of the middling works of Abhinav Gupta, who did almost 46 major works attributed to him. And one of the most important of those is Tantra Loka, which is the essence of Kashmir Shaivism, the philosophical underpinnings of Kashmiri philosophical traditions. He wrote Abhinav Gita, his treatise on Bhagavad Gita, which again is considered outstanding. He wrote on grammar. He was one of the greatest aestheticians. More than 80 universities across the world, none in India, across the world, teach Abhinav Gupta today. Abhinav Gupta is considered the previous millennia's foremost intellectual the land produced. The first millennia, which is the millennia of the Christ, first 1,000 years, Shankaracharya, Adi Shankara, is considered perhaps the foremost intellectual. The next millennia, we are in the 3rd millennia now, Abhinav Gupta is arguably, or perhaps without argument, the foremost intellectual. He came from Kashmir. Sharangadev, who's considered to be the father of Indian music tradition, both Hindustani classical and Carnatic classical. When he was told, asked where he's from, his answer was Asti Swasti Graham Kulavansham Srimad Kashmir Sambhavam. He mentions Kashmir as Srimad Kashmir, giving it such reverence. That's how he introduces himself. That's what Kashmir gave you besides Abhinav Gupta. It gave you Bhatta Lolata, it gave you Ruyaka, it gave you Kayyata, it gave you Kshemendra, it gave you Avanti Varmana. It gave you such pantheon of Sanskrit philosophers in every walk of life that if you take them out of the body of Sanskrit literature, what will be left is anybody's speculation. So I am positing Kashmir in our collective consciousness, where it was the fountainhead of path-breaking thinking. It was in Kashmir where Mahayana Buddhism was born and then went to Tibet, and from Tibet to Far East, which is China, Korea and Japan. What you also call Vajrayana. And Kumarajiva took it there. Padmasambhava took it there. And they were Kashmiris. The second International Buddhist Conference that lasted 6 months was hosted in Kashmir, which debated the treatises of Buddhism, the essential questions of life that every philosophy seeks to answer as to who we are, where have we come from, where are we headed, why are we here. These questions engaged the philosophers of Kashmir. Then, when world was still living in caves, when they were still hunter-gatherers, Kashmir was the beacon of learning, of inquiry that attracted people from across the globe. It is this civilization that the current noise, current debate seeks to not only overlook but hide, distort, deny, disown. And the kind of studies and syllabuses we go through, I feel I have been deprived of this as I grew up. This is not something that my textbooks told me, that my school and college told me, that my teachers told me. No, sorry. It was my inquiry in the last... My parents didn't tell me because they didn't go through this. I thank those who've dragged this issue to an argument, because that led me to an inquiry. I went around looking for people to find out who we were, where are we from. And this is just about scratching the surface.